In this video, I'm gonna go over the easiest way to connect Vapi and GoHighLevel and have your Vapi agent call your GoHighLevel leads. I'm gonna let this run once. Okay, one sec. I'm trying to talk with my subscribers. I'm trying to talk with my subscribers. Can you give me a sec? I like your accent, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Could you please provide the date and time you would like to book the call?
And book an appointment with them. So what happened recently with GoHighLevel is that we had the version 1 connection, version 1 API connection. API means connection with platforms, for example, GoHighLevel and Vapi. And then GoHighLevel changed to a version 2 API connection. Now, in the meantime, what happened is that we had to go through Marketplace. It's called GoHighLevel Marketplace, create an app there, and then connect your Vapi agent through make.com with GoHighLevel. Now we don't need to do that anymore, and I'll show you exactly how to set that up from inside your GoHighLevel account so that you don't have to create like an app in GoHighLevel Marketplace, and it's gonna be way easier and way simpler. So let's dive in the video. So I just want to preface this video with saying that I have shot already a full tutorial over the two systems that I'm gonna go over today. This is system number 1 and this is system number 2. So system number 1 is for the outbound call to be initiated from Vapi so that when a lead goes through your GoHighLevel account or your GoHighLevel workflow, one of the GoHighLevel workflows, then this specific scenario is allowing the call to be initiated to the lead. So this is scenario number 1 and scenario number 2. And scenario number 2 is basically the scenario that when the lead wants to book an appointment at a specific time, the agent can do it by itself without having to send a booking link or something like that. Okay, now actually I think it's going to be a good idea to set up a system which is going to be, I think, an extension of this system. I can kind of like imagine it now, but I'm gonna set it up and I'm gonna show it in another video so that when something goes wrong for whatever reason with this appointment booking process, then the agent can send a text from your GoHighLevel phone number to that lead so that the lead can book an appointment by himself or herself. So if you want to see a full breakdown of these two scenarios, check out the other video that I have on my YouTube channel about how to connect Vapi with GoHighLevel. In this video, I'm gonna go over them briefly, and specifically, I'm gonna go over the modules that are different. We have two modules that are different from the initial scenario. And by the way, if you want access to these two scenarios for free, join my school community, first link in the description below, and you're gonna find them over there. So let's dive in the video. So the way to set up the version 2 API connection from inside your GoHighLevel account without having to go through the marketplace, as we had to do a few weeks ago, is first of all, you have to specify the exact sub account that you want to set up this Vapi agent with, and then you go to settings, and then you scroll down, and then you see over here private integration, so you click on that. And then, as you can see here, it says private integrations API version 2. And if you go to GoHighLevel's documentation and scroll down to create appointment over here at calendar events, then you click on that or on this little drop down. And you can see here it says use the access token generated, blah, 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 or private integration token of sub account. So this is what we're going to do. And yeah, you basically click on create new integration. You give it a name, for example, Vapi and make.com connection, and then you click on next. Now scopes is the amount of access that you give to a specific application to do something. Okay, so in this case we're gonna give a specific amount of access or specific scopes to Vapi through the token, the string of characters. Token is basically a string of characters that you're gonna see over here, to make.com, so that Vapi agent through make.com can book an appointment or do other stuff. Okay, so you're gonna click on select scopes. So now for an appointment setter bot, what you're gonna need is view calendars, edit calendars, view calendar events, and edit calendar events. You don't need anything else. There are a lot of other scopes for other things, right? Like you can do other things like a bunch of stuff, as you can see here, but we don't need any other thing other than these 4 scopes. So you click on create. Cool, and then you have your API token. I don't care about this token because I'm gonna delete it afterwards, but what I would suggest you do is you take this token, you copy it, and then you put it in a secure folder, let's say in your Google Drive or something like that. Yeah, so you basically copy that, you click on this little X button over here, and then you have access token over here. Cool, and what I would suggest is you paste it in a Google Doc like this. Cool, so now we have the access token from inside GoHighLevel sub account, so we're done with that, okay? So next thing that you need to set up is a Vapi agent. This is a very simple agent for this purpose. And as you can see, the system prompt that I have over here is if the user wants to book a call, ask them what time and day they would like to book a call, then run the DHL booking tool. Okay, DHL stands for GoHighLevel. Yeah, you can just take a look over here and the different things that I say. And also you need to set up a specific tool, which is going to be the DHL booking tool. Tools in Vapi are basically things that do very specific functions. And in this case, this tool is going to allow the Vapi agent to book an appointment with that lead that it's calling straight into the GoHighLevel calendar. So I'll show you how to create this tool so that your Vapi agent can book the appointment. So we go to a new tool over here. Then you're gonna click on make because we're gonna run this tool with make. Then what you're gonna do is you're going to set up your webhook. Okay, you're gonna have to set up your webhook so that it has a very specific address over here. Then you're gonna copy the address to your clipboard. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Vapi and you're gonna paste the webhook URL over here. Then you click on save and then you click on next. Cool, then property name. A property is basically something that you want the tool or the agent to capture at that time. Okay, the only thing that we need this agent to capture is the time and date that the person wants to book an appointment for. So the property name is gonna be appointment time, and then you're gonna have to describe the property, its purpose, its use, so that the agent will know when to use it, or actually so that Vapi triggers it at that specific time that, let's say, the person says, yes, I want to book an appointment. I would suggest you write exactly what you see on the screen over here, because I actually had a call with a person that the only thing that was preventing him from the tool being run correctly was this specific phrase. Okay, he was using like a similar phrase, but for whatever reason, the webhook was not getting triggered with that phrase. Now, webhook is this little thingy and this one, which basically what it does is it gets triggered and then it triggers a bunch of other stuff. Okay, or it gets triggered by itself and then something happens. Now, webhooks exist in different platforms. For example, we have a webhook in GoHighLevel, we have a webhook in make.com, and in many platforms, so that they can send signals to each other and then they can trigger each other so that actions can happen throughout platforms. Okay, I know that we have advanced people that watch these videos, but I want to explain this stuff because I know that me explaining these different terms make the videos easier to watch. So let's go back to Vapi. Anyway, so I would suggest use exactly this phrase so that the webhook can be triggered correctly. Okay, cool. Then you click on save and then you click on next. Now, if you wanted more things to go through the webhook, you would click on properties over here and you would add another property. But we don't want anything else to go through the webhook. We have every other information that we need, so we're good with that. Then you would click on next, and then you're gonna name the tool and you're gonna have a description for the tool. The tool can be called GHL booking, and then the description is gonna be the person you're talking with wants to book an appointment. Then you click on create. I'm not gonna do that because I have already done it, so I'm gonna close it here. Cool, and I have this specific tool over here. Cool, so after you have that, the only things that you will need are these two make scenarios and one scenario in GoHighLevel so that the lead can get through this specific scenario or workflow. It's basically the same thing. And then it can go through the webhook, and this webhook will trigger the first call, which is this one. And then the second webhook is going to be triggered by this tool. So we have two different webhooks, or actually we have three webhooks, but we have two different connections. Okay, the first scenario to initiate the call will happen with GoHighLevel, and the second scenario is going to happen to book the appointment. It's going to happen through Vapi. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go over these scenarios kind of briefly to show you the different components of it and how they are made. Again, for a more in-depth explanation of the scenarios, go and watch my first video on Vapi that I have on my channel. So again, this is just a regular webhook that you connected with this specific webhook over here. So what you do is you create this webhook, and then you click on copy address to clipboard. Okay, and then you create a GoHighLevel scenario with a webhook over here. And what you need to do is basically you paste the URL from this webhook. The method is going to be post. Post means send. Then there is another method which is get, that you receive something, you receive information or something else. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to have the lead from GoHighLevel go through this and then send post, right? We're going to send the data to this webhook so that the call can be initiated. So after the lead goes through this workflow and then arrives over here, we have an HTTP module. So what HTTP does is we have connections over the internet. You can just think of it like that are not predetermined in a platform. For example, we have, if we go over here, we have a connection with OpenAI over here, right? So that is predetermined. Yeah, I don't see any other connection over here, but we have, in this case, we have connections with OpenAI. You can have connections with Facebook. You can have connections with many different platforms over the internet. But when you don't have a predetermined connection in, for example, Make.com or Zapier or in other platforms that are automations platforms, then sometimes what exists is called the API documentation. Okay, so in this case, for example, GoHighLevel has the API documentation. API is for connecting platforms, and then we have the documentation here so that people can do their own custom actions. Like you can see over here, you can do so many actions for so many different things, for invoices, for, I don't know, like different things that you see over here. Now what we're gonna focus on in this video is gonna be just create an appointment. Actually, two things: create an appointment and then get free slots. I'll show you why and I'll show you how. So when we have these API documentations, then you can use the HTTP module to make these custom actions. So over here, the HTTP is going to be just to make a request. The method is going to be post. We're going to send something. What we're going to send is the data from the lead, from the GoHighLevel lead to Vapi. You're going to have to use this specific URL so that Vapi calls the lead. This is what we need. We're going to have two headers. The first header is going to have a name authorization. Then the value is going to be bearer, one space, and then your API key from Vapi. Okay, so how you find that is you go down here, you click on API keys, and then you basically arrive at this page. You're gonna copy it, and then you're gonna have to paste it over here. Okay, so the value is bearer and then API key. Bearer is a word that means that the person bears or holds that key. So basically, we authorize a specific action with Vapi in this case. So somebody that would not bear or hold that key could not initiate a call with your account. Okay, cool. Then the second item over here, or the second header, is going to be content type. Value is going to be application JSON, exactly what you see over here. JSON is basically this code over here that you see. Okay, it's a structure of a code, and this is exactly what it is that specifies something. So in this case, we specify which assistant will call that person, we specify which phone number it's going to use, and then we specify for the customer the phone number of the customer and the name of the customer. Okay, so now assistant ID, you're gonna have to go to assistants, then you're gonna click on copy assistant ID, and then this is basically your assistant ID. Okay, make sure that you use the correct assistant to call that person. And then for the phone number ID, you go to your phone numbers, and then we have this ID. This is basically the phone number ID. You would have to click on this little button over here, and then you're gonna copy it, and then you basically go over here and you paste it here. Okay, cool. And this is basically it. So now for data store, you're gonna have to create a data store that has two different fields. One field is gonna be contact ID from the webhook, and the other one is gonna be phone number. Okay, and it's gonna be again the phone number of the lead. So how you do that again is you go to add and you create a data store. All right, so I'm not gonna go over it in this video. I have already gone over it in the previous video. Go and watch that video. And then let's go to the next scenario. And basically over here, what we do is we have a custom webhook that gets triggered when the person on the call says, I want to book an appointment for, let's say, tomorrow at 2 p.m. All right. Then we have a data store that finds the phone number of that person from the stored phone number that we created in make.com. And then, yeah, basically this is what it does. Then the next one is get a record data store. And over here, you have to click on key. All right. I have seen different people, even in my private school community, join my school community down below, first link, that had the problem of this scenario not operating correctly because they had basically contact ID here. Okay. If you have that, it's not gonna work. You need to click on the key. Cool. Then you click on OK. Next one is ChatGPT module. It's a very simple one. Basically, you use GPT-4o or whatever model you want to use. I like using GPT-4o. And then we have two different prompts. The first prompt is the systems prompt, which basically what it does is, let's say that the lead on the call says, I want to book an appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Then ChatGPT takes that phrase, tomorrow at 2 p.m. or let's say Friday at 2 p.m. because Vapi doesn't have an innate calendar. Okay, so Vapi literally doesn't know what time it is or what year it is. So what this does is it takes that phrase and it formats that phrase in an actual time that is acceptable from GoHighLevel for an appointment to be booked. Okay, so again, if you want the prompt and everything over here, school community, first link in the description below. And then we have a user message, and then over here the message content is only tool call list, function, arguments, and an appointment time. Over here you click on appointment time. Okay, now we come to the module which is different in this scenario. So in the previous scenario I showed you the module which was HTTP make an OAuth 2.0 request. Okay, OAuth means open authorization. It basically means a secure connection between platforms that doesn't require that other platform to know your login details. If we go with that, you need to create a connection and then you need to create that connection through GoHighLevel Marketplace. Okay, now we don't need that. What we need is make a basic authorization request. Okay, we don't need a 2.0 request because we already have the 2.0 API key. Again, API is connection between platforms. We have that key created in GoHighLevel. Okay, so again, if you didn't have this module over here, you would go to add a module, HTTP, and it would be a make a basic authorization request. Okay, cool. So now after you have this module, what you need, the URL is going to be this URL that you see over here. Method is going to be post because we're going to have to send the data to GoHighLevel calendar so that we book an appointment. And yeah, version is going to be this one because this is the only acceptable version over here. As you can see, it's this date over here. And authorization, you will need to have your API key that you just created. Okay, so in this case, this is my API key. So you would take that, you would copy that, then you would create another header that says authorization. The name is authorization and the value is bearer, and this specific API key. Then body type is going to be raw, content type is going to be JSON, and over here you will need to specify the calendar ID, like which calendar we're going to go ahead and book this appointment on. Then location ID, which is basically the sub account, the GoHighLevel sub account. For example, in this case, we have this sub account, right? Cool. And then we have the contact ID, which is the ID of that lead in GoHighLevel. Okay. And then we have start time, which is the start time of the appointment, like what time we want to book the appointment for. Cool. So calendar ID, for calendar ID, you will have to go to your sub account. Then you would go to calendar settings, and you would have your different calendars here, and then you would click on this little icon over here. This is the ID, so you copy that, you go to make.com, then you drop it here inside the quotation marks. Then location ID is this is the location ID, and then you would drop it here. Contact ID is going to be the ID from the third step over here. Then start time is going to be the result from the last module over here, and then you would have to specify the exact time, and then you would have to specify your own time zone. Okay, so you would have to write here based on GMT time your time zone. For example, for me, I'm in GMT +2. I just set up another account yesterday that was GMT -7, okay, because that was in I think California. So basically this is what you do. Then you click on OK. Cool. And then we have the router, in which case the upper part of the scenario will book the appointment, and if the appointment slot is not available, then it's going to go down here, and then we're going to get the available slots, and the agent is going to say, sorry, 3 p.m. for example is not available tomorrow, but we have, let's say, 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Cool. So over here you have to set up two different filters. If the appointment is booked, status code is going to be equal to 201, status code from this module over here. So what this means is that the appointment was created. If status code is 201, so there are different status codes. For example, status code 200 means success, that something was a success. Status code 201 means success and that something was created. It was not only successful, but something was created, in this case an appointment. For example, status code 400 means that something was wrong or wrongly configured. Okay, cool. So if status code is 201, then we go up here to this specific webhook. This is not going to work for whatever reason. So let's go to function, arguments, appointment time, perfect. So you need to specify the tool call ID, which was the tool that we called with a Vapi Agent, which was the GHL booking tool. It's this one. This is the tool ID, but actually you will not need to copy that, because we also have the tool ID over here. So you'd have to click on that. Actually, you would have to click exactly this, and then the result is going to be perfect. Your appointment is booked for that specific time that the person said. For example, if the person says, I want to book an appointment for tomorrow at 3 p.m., then the agent is going to say, perfect, your appointment is booked for 3 p.m. when it books the actual appointment. Now, if that slot is no longer available, what's going to happen is that the output, like the result from this step over here that goes ahead and books an appointment, is going to say slot no longer available, okay, in its data. So if data contains case insensitive, actually no, or no longer, it's not going to work if you just say not. For whatever reason I had not there, but it's actually no or no longer. So if it says no longer available, it's going to go down here, and this is like alien language over here, right? We have like two different fields that it formats the time that the person says that they want to book an appointment for, or actually it formats the date. So for example, the lead says, I want to book an appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m. And let's say tomorrow is Friday, okay, so let's say tomorrow is Wednesday, 18th of September. So it takes that day, 18th of September, and basically the first thingy here, the first variable, formats that day, Wednesday, like the very beginning of Wednesday, which is 12 a.m. exactly, like the very, very beginning of Wednesday. And then we have the end time, a millisecond before the end of Wednesday. So it's literally like 11:59,999. Okay, like just before Wednesday ends, so that we can take that time, like those two different time frames, right? Like that, the beginning and the end, and then we can put it here in this module, which this is the second module, which is different, by the way, which is again make a basic authorization request. And basically what we do is we take these two different times, and then we say you have to use this specific URL, and you basically say, get me the free slots in this calendar for the whole of Wednesday, like from the very beginning of Wednesday to the very end of Wednesday. Get me the free slots from that calendar. And the time zone, for time zone, you'll have to go to your GoHighLevel account. You would have to go to business profile, and then you would have to go to time zone over here. And you see that the time zone says, for example, GMT +2 Europe / Madrid CEST. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to take Europe / Madrid and nothing else, because again, if we go to GoHighLevel documentation, oh yeah, and then we go to get free slots, then we're gonna see that the time zone is written just like that. Okay, for example, America Chihuahua. I thought that was a dog, but you basically take America plus whatever, or the time zone exactly as it says here. So in this case, it would be Europe / Madrid and nothing else before or after. Okay, cool. So we go back to make.com, and then start date is going to be start time from the last step, and end date is going to be end time from the last step. Okay, version is going to be same, and authorization you would have to put bearer and then your API key. Okay, cool. We click on OK, and then for the ChatGPT module over here, I say basically you'll receive some data which will be the available time slots in that day for booking an appointment. You'll also receive some data on when the person wanted to book the appointment for. Okay, cool, fine. So basically this is another prompt. We're gonna find it in my school community. And what we do here is we give ChatGPT the free slots, the free appointment slots, and when the person wanted to book an appointment for, that is no longer available. Okay, cool. So not available slot is going to be again function arguments appointment time, and available time slots is going to be this one that says data. And then there is going to be a webhook response in the end that says basically we specify the tool call ID, which is the GoHighLevel booking tool, and the result, which is in this case is going to be hey, these slots are no longer available, or this slot is no longer available, but we have, let's say, 2 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. When do you want to book? So yeah, this is basically how it works. Let's try it out right now and see that it works properly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this run once, and then let this run once. Cool. And then I'm gonna take myself through this webhook so that Vapi Agent can call me. So test workflow, cool, run test, and I should be receiving a call over here. Here we go. Hello.
Today?
Hi, how's it going?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. How can I assist you today? Are you looking to book a call or?
Exactly. I'd love to book a call.
Oh, yeah. Great. Could you please let me know the date and time you'd like to book the call?
I like your accent, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Could you please provide the date and time you would like to book the call?
Yes. How about, let me see. Let me just check my calendar so that I see my availability, okay?
Sure, take your time. Let me know once you've checked your calendar and have a date and time in mind.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So, okay.
Take your time.
Are you there? Ready. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Just let me know the date and time you'd like to book the call.
Yeah, what about tomorrow at 3 p.m.?
This will just take a sec. It seems that the slot for tomorrow at 3 p.m. is unavailable. Here are two alternative times that are close to your requested time. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., tomorrow at 4 p.m. Would either of these times work for you?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Sure, take your time. Let me know which time works for you.
Who's wrong talking?
Great. Do you prefer?
Okay, one sec.
Problem.
I'm trying to talk with my subscribers. I'm trying to talk with my subscribers. Can you give me a sec?
Of course, take your time. Just let me know when you're ready to choose an alternative time for the call.
So I had two different API tokens from different sub-accounts, and I had put the wrong one here. Okay, so you will only have one API token, and then just put the correct one here. All right, let's try this again. I messed it up because I had different API tokens from two different sub-accounts, and it didn't work, obviously. So what's up, Danny?
Day?
Hello, how's it going, Danny?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. How can I assist you today?
I'd like to book an appointment.
Sure, I'd be happy to help you with that. Could you please let me know the date and time you'd like to book the appointment for?
Yes, I'd like to book an appointment for tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Hold on a sec. Unfortunately, the slot for tomorrow at 3 p.m. is not available. How about tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. or 3:30 p.m.?
Yeah, let's go for 2:30 tomorrow at 2:30 p.m.
This will just take a sec. Your appointment is confirmed for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. See you then.
All right, Danny. Thanks.
You're welcome. Have a great day and see you tomorrow at 2:30 p.m.
You too. All right, so basically this is how it works. You can tweak your agent to do different things, but this is, I think, the best scenario to book calls with and to book appointments with in GoHighLevel. Again, if you want access to these two different scenarios, which are the updated scenarios, join my school community. First link in the description below. One thing that I didn't say for the two new modules over here is that you will have to have a connection here, which you can literally, you don't need any username, you don't need any password, you just name your connection and you click on create, and yeah, this is pretty much it. So guys, hopefully you liked this video, hopefully you found it valuable, educational. If you did, subscribe to this channel, and then I'll see you in one of the next videos.